Okay, so quick lunch break shit. Gonna be late getting back to lunch, but they don't give a shit. I don't care either. Anyway, had a couple of questions come in from JBro 36 some shit. I don't know. Anyway, he wanted to know what's the worst clog I've ever had to clean, or the worst time I've ever clogged the toilet. And he also wanted to know what's the biggest dump I ever took. So let me think about that. The first thing that comes to mind on the biggest dump question is, let me give you a little backstory first. So I've always kind of had this fear of porta potties, or, you know, hole in the ground outhouses like we have up on our deer land, or, you know, anything like that. I'm always afraid there's going to be a raccoon or a snake. Hell, I feel that way about the toilet in my house. Rats coming out. You never know. Grew up on the farm, so, you know, you're out in the country, you are fearful of shit like that. Anyway, it's kind of got this, at 31 years old, instilled fear in me of using a porta potty. Plus, it's full of other people's shit, and who wants to put their lady parts that close to, you know, a pile of somebody's shit? So, long story short, I was at a Harvest Festival on Mulberry Mountain in 2012. Woo! Kind of sad they, like, ended that festival. It was a fun festival. Weather was nice. It's beautiful up there. Anyway, I used to, I would only shit like once or twice a week, and I would try to, not once a week, but maybe twice a week. And I used to take some massive dumps when I would go, but as I got older, I think I kind of straightened it out to where I can go every day or every other day at least. But anyway, back to the story. We were at Harvest Festival 2012, and we took our RV, but we didn't have an RV hookup because those are very limited, and they go for like $500, and I ain't paying that to plug in my RV. I don't need it. I can build a fire if I get cold. I got blankets. So anyway, as any hardy, well-seasoned festival goer knows, you always want to use the shitters right in the morning, 6 or 7 o'clock after they come by and dump them, because they're usually, you know, much nicer once they're cleaned out that morning. Now, at Harvest Festival, they'll have maybe 40 or 50 porta potties for the 10,000 plus people who are there. So these things stay pretty full and pretty nasty, and they smell pretty rank. And if people would figure out how to close the lid on the porta potty, like on the toilet seat itself, before they fucking exit, then all of that smell is going to go out that pipe that comes out the top. Nobody knows how to do that. They just leave that stuff open. I guess they don't want to touch it either. That's what hand sanitizer's for. Anyway, back to my story. So it's like 7:30 in the morning or whatever, and I had to take a shit. It's like Saturday. We've been there for 3 days. Have to take a shit. So I grabbed my old roommate's girlfriend, and I'm like, hey, let's go to the shitter. So start walking to the shitter, and I walk all the way down there and realize I didn't have any shoes on, because I don't ever wear shoes. You know, it's grass under my feet. I'm out in nature. And so I was like, Corky, let me borrow your flip-flops. They're like 3 sizes too small for me. So I slip them on as best I can. I'm like, you have to come to the porta potty with me. I'm not going to be in there shitting by myself. So stand here and guard the door so I don't feel alone. So I go in. I'm on the phone. Go away. Why you come talk to me when I'm taking a shit? Anyway. Bye. Close the door. Scooch. Bye. So I go in. Goddamn. Bye. I go in. I have these tiny ass little flip-flops on. Position myself over the hole, trying not to get in there. This one hadn't been cleaned out yet, so it's kind of full. You know, I like to wear the mass of toilet paper, and everybody else's feces is above the blue line of liquid shit they put in there. And force myself to shit in this porta potty. It was the first time I'd ever done it in my entire life. I'm like, what, 27 years old at the time? Not even. I was 20, maybe 26, because my birthday is November, so. Anyway. So I drop this turd, and I get up and I wipe with my, you know, half a roll of toilet paper that I use every time I shit. And I turn around and look down, and that thing, one turd, is as big as my forearm. It is as big as one of those, like, summer sausages you get at Christmas time, you know? It's huge. So I finish in awe of this, and I step out of the porta potty, and I'm like, Corky, you have to look at what just came out of me, because it was just perfectly positioned right there on top of everybody's shit. Didn't fall down and plunk in there. It's like this fucking log just laying there. I was like, Corky, you have to fucking look at that. I don't know how my asshole didn't like rip open when this came out of me. I guess poop is kind of malleable because it's squishy, but god damn, it was huge. So that's a story of like the most memorable big shit I've ever taken. Back to the worst clog question. When I was in like, I want to say 6th grade, maybe 5th grade, something like that. I had a friend over who I used to ride bikes with. We went to church together, all this crap. And I had forgotten to tell her that our toilet in my bathroom was clogged, like the one in the hallway. We had 3. She should have used a different one. I don't know why I didn't tell her. Didn't think about it because I'm, 11, 12 years old. Probably 11. I was probably in 5th grade. So she goes to the bathroom and she takes a shit. And we had somebody, a plumber, come in later that afternoon to like snake it or whatever you do. I don't know. Not my job. So she goes in there and she takes a shit. And she clogs it. A couple hours later, she goes home, didn't think anything of it, and my mom goes in there and realizes that this toilet is clogged. And of course it's my fault, because I didn't tell her at 11 years old that the toilet was clogged. I forgot. And so my mom says, well, I guess you're going to have to get that clog out, Chanel. And she goes and she gets the rubber gloves out of the kitchen and makes me put them on, and I spent 20 minutes digging shit out of the hole in the toilet with my hands until it would flush. And then we had the guy come snake the drain later. But let me tell you, that is the most disgusting thing. Digging somebody else's shit out of a toilet with your gloved hand when you're 11 years old is worse than getting a spanking. It's worse than being grounded. It is the most disgusting thing. And it wasn't a punishment. It was just a teaching you responsibility sort of thing. The most horrible thing I've ever had to do. Now, it may not be the worst clog that I personally ever made. I remember in 7th grade on up, me and my group of like 8 friends in school would always have a Christmas sleepover at a different person's house each year. Well, one year in 8th grade, we had it at my friend Tara's house in Truman. And Skylar and I lived in a different town about 12 miles away, and she and I came home and stayed the night at her house rather than staying down there at Tara's house because, we both lived in Jonesboro, so I'm telling y'all where I live now. That's horrible. It doesn't fucking matter. Anyway, so we had pizza that night at the party, or maybe it was before the party, and then we went over there. We did the little party thing, played some games, whatever, and then my mom came and got us and took us to Skylar's house. So in the middle of the night, I don't know if it was food poisoning or if my sugar was high or what, but I got sick from the pizza. And I got up in the middle of the night, and everybody else in her house is asleep. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. And her room was in the basement of their house. Like, it had 2 bedrooms and like a media room and a bathroom and like an exercise room, a computer room, laundry, etc. That was all down in the basement. Finished basement, obviously. So I go in the bathroom down there, and I'm sick, and I'm throwing up. I threw up on the toilet, so much so that the puke clogged the toilet. So I flushed it, and it immediately starts overflowing everywhere. So I grabbed all the towels I could find. Her mom kind of scared the hell out of me because she was a teacher at our school, and she's nuts then. She's nutsier now. And her dad, he was real cool, but, I was in like, 8th grade, and I was still shy and stuff. So, find all the towels I can find, try to soak it up, and I went back to bed because I felt terrible. I wake up the next morning early because I had somewhere to be, and my mom came and got me and took me home. And here it is, 17 years later, and every time I see her father, that's the story that comes up. How the next morning I had flooded part of the media room and the entire bathroom with puke overflow. And to this day, He will not ever get us pizza whenever we're together. We do not eat pizza with them anymore. Not allowed to. Never again. Pepperoni pizza with mustard, by the way, if you were wondering. Everywhere. Anyway, well, I've got to get back to work. Spent the last 10 minutes of my lunch break talking to you guys. Those questions are for JBro. JBro, that sounds, I don't know, whatever. That wasn't your name on your email. It doesn't make sense, but, you know, it's the internet, so. Anyway, Bogart. What are you whining for? Fucking Dotsons, I swear to God. Anyway, going to work. Ooh. Happy Christmas. Merry holidays. Those are for you, JBro.